wait a minute. Before we even get into this video, just know these are not all my opinions. When I say it's my opinion, then you know it's my opinion, because this is a different topic. But thank you guys for coming back, checking me out, man. I'm back up and running, doing what needs to be done, and that's giving y'all that good content and some of these things that just linger around the brain, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get into it. So the topic of today is God good or evil? And what is evil? What is good? You know, and I'm gonna just go ahead and get into it. I seen and heard some topics about this, and I was like, you know, it crossed me more than one time, and I was like, you know, what they said was kind of valid, but yeah, what do you think? And I'll give you my POV. This is what they said, basically, that God is good and evil. And when they elaborated on it, they basically said, because without God, you know, I'll say the creator from here on out, without the creator, none of it could exist. You know what I mean? And if you go by, you know, the Bible and what it says, you know, Satan was an angel at first, and then ended up, you know, betraying God and was jealous. And then you got to still think at the same time, that's the creator's creation. You know, love it or not, you got to think about it like down here. And I kind of agree with that subject, because what I'm about to say is my opinion. You know, you look down here on earth where we are, you know, on this plane, and you got good people, you got bad people, but they're all people at the end of the day. Some are disturbed, some are, you know, different, some are quote unquote normal, whatever you think normal is. So I get it on a human level, I do, but to see it like in the biblical sense is crazy, because I never thought of it like that. What do you guys think? Because it makes sense, because, you know, you go back to the beginning, you know, it took, you know, he rested on the seventh day, and, you know, you have, you know, where in the Bible, I don't know what religion you guys are, but, you know, in the Bible, it says like he allowed the devil to test. I forgot who it was. I'm not privy on the Bible, so don't come at me about it. But it's a story in there where the guy did nothing wrong, and he told the devil to test him and see what type of man he was, or if he was really committed. So he allowed the devil to, you know, manipulate, to do anything but kill him. So I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. That story is kind of crazy, I'm just saying. But that goes back to the good and evil, because you have a good side and an evil side, but they conversing to test a man on earth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, that's a little crazy if you ask me. You know, I'm not disrespecting nobody's religions. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. But I'm just saying, you know, just hearing that, somebody could have put it in like, guess what, man, this dude, his son, love him to death, never treated him wrong. And this evil guy, he just was like, hey, man, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to test my son. I need you to torture him, do everything but kill him. I just want to see how much you really love me. I don't know. So anyway, it's crazy. Anyway, back to the good and evil thing. So good and evil, yeah, I can see that. In my opinion, I can see that as far as like God being on both sides, being both sides, not being on both sides, because without him, nothing exists. So therefore, some things have to be, you know, called out, I guess, because, you know, like I said, I mean, without our creator, nothing would be existing at all. We would just be nothing. You know, the stars, the animals, the trees, and So it made sense to me. What do you guys think, man? This is not going to be a really long video. This is just something I just was like, let me get this off, because it's like rattling around in my mind for a minute. And I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about, that our creator is good and evil. Then you think about, times they say in the Bible that God killed more than anybody else in that book. So, you got to think of that stuff too. Like, I ain't saying that that's because God is evil. Don't get it twisted. But it's kind of wild. The stories are wild in the Bible. And, like I said, don't come at me for not knowing it completely. I'm just going off bits and pieces here. So I'm not sitting here trying to lecture nobody on their religion. But I also heard that, there are some books missing out of that book. So the people that believe don't get the whole truth. And then you got to think too, is man written? I don't think, let me know if I'm wrong, but no words from God actually are in the Bible. So you got that. And then you got, the Old Testament versus the King James version, to where, King James, if you don't know who he is, do your research, because he studied demonology as well. He wrote the Bible first, rewrote the Bible first, and then was going to put out a book, or I think he did, but either or, it was into demonology. And then he also had some of the books removed from the Old Testament when he released his version. And it's kind of crazy. How can a man that bleed just like you and me release, I don't care how much power you got, release your own version of a Bible that's supposed to be like wisdom and instructions to connect with God? And that never sat right with me on my journey. And I know about the thing about King James and, him, his mom's head, and just a lot of devious stuff that he did, and was able to put out his own version of the Bible. It's crazy. Just do your research on that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of wild, man. I don't know, because you got to think, all right, with King James or whatever, is he good and evil? It started making you ask questions, because if you think or agree on that first step, so what is good and evil? I mean, some people say it's necessary. I had stopped myself before I said anything. Some people say that stuff is necessary to make the world be what it is, because it can't all just be one thing, or but I beg to differ. I disagree with that. In my opinion, it could be all good. Things could progress from being all good versus being all evil. I don't think the world will survive like that, but I do think there's a lot of evil in this world today versus good, or they try to put it out there. They push it to the forefront more than they try to push the good out here in the world. You know what I mean? The internet is a horrible place, and that's a good example of that. But yeah, question yourself, ask yourself, what do you think? Do you think that's true? And then ask yourself, what is good and evil? Is it an experience? Is it a test? Is it a lie? Is it reality? I don't know. But those are some questions you should ask, and come to the conversation with an open mind too. Like I said, I'm not I believe in what I believe in, and I'm entitled to do that. Same as anybody else out here on this planet is entitled to believe in what they believe in. And I'll hear anybody out as long as you're talking with sense and some respect. But yeah, that's the topic, man. And it's kind of wild, man. And I ain't trying to disrespect nobody, like I said, but yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about today. So we back with the second topic, and this one is based off of personal experience. You know what I'm saying? No public topics or nothing like that, but it's talking about hallucinations. And I don't know if you guys ever had any, maybe some psychedelic type. Maybe you just gifted and you can see things other people can't see. I don't know. But the situation I had, it was it was different, man, and I'll get into it just a second. I gotta pause this track. All right, so I had like an injury, or have like an injury from a long time ago, and you know what I'm saying, it flared up on me or whatever, and you know, I talked to my doctor and everything, and I was like, yo, I need something for this pain, and I don't really mess with pills and stuff like that, and only like allergies or something like that. But anyway, so they prescribed me these muscle relaxers. So I'm like, all right, cool. And you know, the doc was like, yeah, you can go up to this many, or you can just, you know, take the base level, whatever, based on your pain, whatever. Man, let me tell you something. I took what she recommended, right? So at first I'm like, all right, I'm feeling, you know, it's good. The pain gone, thank God. I say, blah. Man, one night I'm sitting here chilling and I'm just laying down. And next thing you know, man, like I wasn't even tired. I was relaxed, but I was like, I started seeing shit. It was crazy, man. I'm talking about real crazy. It was so vivid that I don't even know, like, I can't even explain it, but I'm gonna try my best. So some of the visions, like when I close my eyes, I could see like as bright as it is right now, as you looking right now, looking at this screen. Imagine seeing something that vivid with your eyes closed, and I could see like different people. Every time I would open my eyes and close them again, I would be like in a different part of the world. Like I was really there. Like it didn't feel like no dream. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't dreaming, but I was literally there with different people in different parts of the world. And it was crazy, man. And I was like, what the, you know what I'm saying? I kept my eyes closed, but I did have to like focus in order for that, whatever it was, to remain there. I just had to focus. I couldn't like look around or nothing like that. I had to like stare with my eyes closed to be present in that moment. And every time I open my eyes and I close it again, I was in a different moment. And I'm like, I'm tripping. Like, I'm not scared or nothing, but I'm like into it. And like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. So later, this all in the same night, later, you know, I got up, moved around, did what I needed to do, laid back down. So I'm chilling again. Next thing you know, I start seeing like this bright, really bright light. And then it started like transforming into like different shapes. And like it started off small as like a pin, and then it grew. And before you know, I was inside of it. And I'm like traveling and seeing all these shapes and different colors. And I don't know, man. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what happened. So, you know, me trying to rationalize it, I'm like, all right, it's the medicine, but it looks so real. Like I couldn't explain it, man. And then it was like before that second part happened, I had my eyes closed and I could still see my hand and the room I'm in with my eyes closed. So my eyes are closed, literally closed, and I can see my hand right where it is. I can see everything in the room, and like, I don't know what happened, but it happened. And then like, okay, then the third thing happened. And then, so I'm chilling, I'm watching TV. I got a TV on the wall over here, and I'm just watching TV, still on that, you know what I'm saying? While my eyes are open, something like from outside comes through the wall, through the TV, towards me. They're like designs. And next thing you know, I close my eyes and I'm back in that place where I'm traveling again. So it started with my eyes open, and I could see it. Like this time I can look around and see it. It just came from outside, through the wall, through the TV. And I close my eyes and I'm back. I'm in there inside of the shapes and designs and the colors, and I could see a lot of stuff. It was crazy, man. It was like I ain't never seen or experienced no stuff like that in my life. It was like, you ever heard like them DMT trips. It was something like that. And I if I could put that with anything else, I never had DMT, you know what I'm saying? But I hear the stories, but like with the shapes, and I ain't see like no beings or nothing. I seen actual people. So I felt like, I know I was talking in my earlier video, like astral projection and all that stuff. That's what it felt like. But it was just so real, man. It felt like I could just reach out and touch the person. One person actually looked at me, and it was wild. It was wild. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't even know what to say about it, but that's all I know. But what do you guys think? Like, have you ever had an experience like that? Because I'm at a loss of words. Like, I'll never forget that. You know what I'm saying? And that medicine's still sitting over there, and I don't think I'm gonna mess with that, man, because that it did something. Like, it was like, I don't know, but it definitely unlocked something. And you know what I'm saying? And the crazy part is it's only like 4 milligrams per like little tablet. So yeah, that's scary. I don't know, but yeah, that happened. That definitely happened, man. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. But what do you think hallucinations are? What do you think they are? You know what I'm saying? Some people say they are gateways into the other dimensions, and, you know, to go to a higher level of consciousness, and, you know, communicate with stuff that you can't usually communicate with on this third plane that we're on. I think they say it's like 11, and you can travel in between if you know, unlock your pineal gland and things like that. And I got to thinking about all of that, because I've heard about that plenty of times way before I had this, you know. And I tried to think, hey, maybe this your subconscious and things you heard in the past, you know, coming to, you know, like messing with your brain or whatever. But I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know. But what I'm saying is how vivid it was when my eyes are open, seeing things and being completely awake. I mean, not even no REM sleep, nothing, just completely awake and seeing that and seeing it vividly. I can't say that that's what that was. Like, I think it was like really real. But yeah, man, it's a lot. There's some people out here that can do that, you know, on the fly. They don't need any medications or anything like that. And I'm not one of them, clearly, because if I ever experienced some of that off of anything, I would have been said something. And that was my first time. I was like, yeah, I'll never forget that. But yeah, it was a hallucination, I guess. We'll call it that, because I don't know what else it could have been, you know. And if you do, let me know. And I just wanted to share that story with you guys, man, because yeah, I was like, I got to talk about this. And let me know if you know, had the same experience on anything, you know, over the counter, under the counter, you know, off the block, whatever. Let me know, because I want to hear some stories, and definitely hit me in the comments, man. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm gonna just end it right here, and I'll be back with another video soon, man. So got some things cooking in the works. In the next like 20 days, I have some new hotness for you. So yeah, y'all stay blessed, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Peace out.